Oh, hello there. Welcome to Let's Talk. In this show, we talk about whatever may be on Maple Abdullah's mind. Oh, wait, is it Maple Abdullah me? Anyways, so let's get talking. Okay, so to begin, let's talk about the PSL. So, PSL 5. So, where should we start? Well, I guess we should start with Karachi Kings, since the first game's happening in Karachi. Okay, so the key players for Karachi Kings, I would have to say it's Babar Azam and Mohamed Amir, because Babar Azam kind of just carries the batting lineup. He has done for most of the PSL for Karachi, and Mohamed Amir pretty much carries Karachi's bowling, and he's probably the golden weapon in Karachi's bowling lineup, I would have to say. So, who could be a wild card for Karachi Kings? Well, first of all, it has to be Sarjeel Khan, because this is his return to cricket, at least domestic cricket, in a while, considering what happened to him since the first PSL to now. So it would be interesting to see how he performs in this PSL, and hopefully he can make the tournament his own and live up to the occasion. So the other wildcard option I have is Iftikhar Ahmed. He's turned into a really good middle order batsman, especially when you need a lot of runs in the latter overs of the game. So I think he could be a fine addition to Karachi Kings, and hopefully he performs really well. Okay, so who could potentially be the players to look out for Karachi Kings? First of all, it has to be Umair Khan, because just how well he played in the previous PSL. I would even go as far to say he was one of the fine of the tournaments, and hopefully he could replicate that form in going to this PSL. And yeah, I wish him all the best of luck. And I'm also intrigued to see how Arshad Iqbal plays, because I've never seen him in action before. So that would be very interesting watch for me, and I guess for other viewers that haven't seen him as well. So what are Karachi Kings' chances in the PSL? Well, I think they look pretty good this year. Their batting lineup's very explosive. They have a decent bowling attack, and they have many match winners in the dressing room and on the pitch. So and they have a very good coaching staff. And yeah, this is probably the best chance Karachi probably has of ever winning the PSL. So yeah, can they potentially win the PSL? Well, I definitely hope so, since that's the team I'm going to be rooting for in PSL 5. Okay, so now let's shift our attention to Karachi's biggest rival, Lahore. So what are going to be the key players for Lahore Qalandars in this PSL? Well, first of all, it has to be Fakhar Zaman, because he pretty much gets most of their runs. If he gets out, most of the time I've seen Lahore, they tend to struggle when Fakhar Zaman is not performing for them. So he's definitely a key player for them on the batting side. And on the bowling side, there's obviously Shaheen Shah Afridi, Usman Shanwari, who obviously was amazing for Karachi all these years, and I wish him all the best at Lahore. Hopefully, he doesn't play as good against us. And their final of the tournament last PSL was Haris Rauf. I think he's gonna be very important to them as well. I think Lahore Qalandars wild card players could be Mohammad Hafiz, who got injured in the last PSL, so that's why he was kind of unlucky. Hopefully, he doesn't get injured this PSL and gets to actually perform as well as he can. And the other wild card option will have to be Chris Lynn, who was also injured in the last PSL and never got to show his talent, which we know he could actually do in franchise cricket. So hopefully we get to see both of them perform to their best. So the player for Lahore that I would say should be the player to look out for is going to be Salman Butt, because this is uh, his first time in a while. He's come back from all his acquisitions in the past, and yeah, so it will be interesting how he handles all that, uh, and and if he could perform to on a really big platform. So, what are Lahore's chances in this PSL? Well, they look decent. They have a very good bowling attack. Their batting lineup looks half decent. Uh, but the thing with Lahore is they often tend to get unlucky. They get hit with many uh, unfortunate events, and hopefully they don't happen because that's probably the only thing that could probably stop them from getting into the playoffs, I would say, for this PSL. So moving on to Multan Sultan, who are their key players? Well, first of all, it has for me one of them has to be Riley Rousseau. Watching him for Quetta Gladiators and Kolkata Knight Riders, he's been very amazing in franchise cricket, and yeah, I think he's going to be very explosive for Multan Sultan, as he usually tends to be. And Junaid Khan is another key player for Multan Sultan, because he has been very consistent in the PSL. So I think he's going to be very important for them going forward in the tournament. So who are the wild cards for Multan Sultans? Well, first of all, I'm going to say Shahid Afridi, because he's been on the decline for a very long time, but come on, most people love him, love the guy, right? Hopefully he lives up to his stardom and actually performs for them. So I think he could possibly surprise a few people. Rabi Bopara could maybe surprise a few people. Imran Tahir could definitely surprise a few people, and Mohammad Irfan, he could possibly surprise a few people as well in the tournament. So, who's going to be the player I'm going to say is to look out for Multan Sultan? Well, since it's Moeen Ali's first tournament in PSL, I think he's probably their player to look out for going into the season. As for their chances in the PSL, well, their squad it might sound harsh, but it looks very average on paper. And I know it's not. I know the game's not played on on paper, but it's not looking very good for them, and I think they're gonna struggle to get into the playoffs. Now, moving on to one of these X teams in the PSL, Peshawar Zilmi. So, who are gonna be the key players for Peshawar Zilmi? Well, obviously, their captain Darren Sammy has to be one of them. Hassan Ali, he's very key for them when it comes to getting the wickets, and same with Wihar Riaz. So those will probably be the three key players for Peshawar Zilmi. And so who could be a possible wild card for Peshawar Zilmi? Well, I'm gonna go for ex Karachi Kings player in Liam Livingston. I think he could shock a few people in this tournament and actually end up playing really well. And so who's the player to look out for in Peshawar Zilmi? Well, I'm going for Multan Sultan's ex-captain, Shoaib Malik. I think he's going to be the player to look out for when you're watching Peshawar Zilmi. Their chances in the PSL, well, like always, they look like a decent side, and I wouldn't be very surprised if they don't make it into the playoffs. I think they'll go very far into the tournament as well, as they always do. Moving on to the capital, Islamabad United. Okay, so who are going to be the key players for Islamabad United? Well, first of them has to be Ranchi. This guy seriously causes almost every team in the PSL massive headaches, and he's going to be an absolute monster, as he always is for them. And there's another player, Asif Ali. He's very good for them in the middle order, especially against us. And obviously, Shadab Khan and Fahim Ashraf, who's also a very good all-rounder, I would say. So these are going to be the key players for Islamabad United. As for wild cards, okay, so I've gone for the two ex Karachi Kings players in Colin Monroe and Ingram. I think Colin Monroe has to actually start performing. So what better place to start than now? And Ingram doesn't need a second invitation, and yeah, those are probably going to be their wild card for the tournament. The player I would say would be to look out for Islamabad United will have to be Dale Steyn, because this is his first PSL tournament. So it'll be exciting to see what he does in this tournament. Islamabad United's chances in the tournament. Well, despite losing their coaching staff to Karachi Kings and almost most of their stronger players to Karachi Kings as well, they actually look pretty strong for this tournament, and I would say they could potentially be uh, in the final, or even go really far into the tournament itself. Moving on to the champions, Quetta Gladiators. So their key players, obviously captain Sarfraz Ahmad, and probably my favorite player uh, in cricket, and Emma Cesar, who's actually a very good opener for them, and Husnain, who's very good at getting the wickets for Quetta, and also Mohammad Nawaz, who's also very good at getting wickets for Quetta, and Shane Watson, who's been like an absolute legend for the team. And yeah, those will probably be their key players. As for their wild card, for some reason I have this weird feeling Solokhan's gonna have a very good tournament. So that's who I'm going for as their wild card going to this tournament. As for the player to look out for, well, for me it has to be England's opener Jason Roy. I think he's gonna be very interesting to watch in this tournament as well. Their chances in the PSL, well, fresh after winning the previous PSL, they look very strong going to this PSL as well. Can they possibly repeat? Okay, so moving on, now let's talk about Big Boss. So Big Boss is a reality show in India, in case nobody knows about. So I'm just gonna be reflecting on my thoughts for season 13 and what I've thought about it as a whole. So overall, I've not actually been very happy with this season, even though they will tell you it's like the best season ever, but it's not. Even though they might be getting the views and everything, it's not, because there's been so many things that previous seasons contestants have been kicked out of the house for, like whether it's swearing, whether it's targeting people's families, or absolutely being physical with people. This season, the contestants have gone over their limits, and Big Boss hasn't, and the makers and the team have done absolutely nothing about most of these contestants. Uh, and in fact, the saddest part is they've let many contestants who've been uh, very negative in the show come back just because of their star presence, which again shows how bad this season has been. And yeah, so for me, it hasn't really been the best season. Okay, so now let's talk about congratulations. So first, congratulations to Justin Bieber for his album Changes. I think it's a very good album. I haven't personally listened to it yet, but I'm definitely going to, and I recommend everybody listens to it, because what a comeback, right? And make sure to watch his YouTube documentary, The Seasons. The I haven't completely finished it, but like the amount of we of the episodes I have watched, it's actually a pretty good documentary, and I recommend everybody watch it. Okay, so the second congratulations I'm gonna give is to Chelsea for signing a player in the summer. Well, I support Man United, so I wouldn't actually know what it feels to sign a player before summer because we're always led to believe you like you can only sign a player with 1 month remaining of the window because that's how we work. So now let's talk about the big news. Okay, so now let's talk about the big Twitter moment. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed Let's Talk. If you really like the episode, make sure to like so I can continue to put more episodes if you are enjoying this. Otherwise, I'll be crying in my bed.